You don't have to be a pilot to know that flying blind isn't just risky, it's downright dangerous. But did you know that packet loss can cause the same issues for your mission-critical network monitoring tools without you even knowing it? Stay tuned for a crash course on packet loss and how you can make sure your monitoring tools never miss a thing. Picture this. You're in a super important virtual meeting, and all of a sudden someone's voice starts clipping, or their video starts stuttering and cutting out. Kinda makes you crazy, doesn't it? Well, congratulations. You've experienced packet loss firsthand. It's a pain most of us have felt. Heck, it's happened to me more times than I'd care to admit. But that's small potatoes compared to the very real consequences packet loss can have on IT organizations, which range all the way from performance bottlenecks and network outages to network intrusions and data breaches. That's because nowadays, almost all of your important monitoring tools rely on the detailed data found inside of network packets to keep everything running smoothly and securely. But it's worth bearing in mind, your tools are only as good as the data you feed them, and missing data can shield attackers from your SecOps team, leave your NetOps team powerless to troubleshoot performance problems, or even reduce the effectiveness and overall lifespan of your tools themselves. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, I already know how dangerous blind spots are. That's why I've deployed a visibility architecture to capture packets from every corner of my network. And if you've already done that, that's great. It's an excellent first step to ensuring holistic, lossless visibility across the entirety of your network. And if those last couple of sentences sounded like ancient Greek to you, then I'd highly suggest you watch my video entitled How Do You Access Network Data, which I've conveniently linked in the description below. But even if you've deployed an array of taps, span ports, and virtualized solutions to capture packets, and you're already filtering, aggregating, and load balancing that data with a network packet broker, you're still not home free. That's because your span ports and packet brokers can actually drop critical packets before your tools ever get the chance to see them. So let's talk about span ports first, which is an acronym for Switch Port Analyzer. Now, instead of making a complete copy of all the packets that pass through it, like say a network tap would, a span port utilizes port mirroring, where it copies traffic from one or more ports to another, using ports on your switch to replicate the work of a tap. Now, in theory, this should forward all the traffic, but it's not quite that smooth in practice. The trouble is that your span ports are notorious for dropping packets, especially when that switch gets busy, since span traffic is the first data to get dropped. And therein lies your problem. With a span port, you're never going to get the whole picture. By contrast, a tap would have forwarded a complete copy of all the packets that passed through it, which could have helped a security tool indicate a potential intrusion, for example. Now, you might not expect a network packet broker to drop packets. I mean, it kind of sounds counterintuitive, right? After all, NPBs are essentially built to aggregate, filter, and send network data to your monitoring tools. But here lies the problem. A lot of them can't do that without dropping some of their traffic in the process. Sure, they work all fine and dandy at lower processing speeds, but as soon as you start adding things like malicious traffic and streaming video, they simply can't keep up, and they start dropping packets left and right. In fact, an independent test proved that one leading packet broker didn't just drop packets, it failed to report the loss. After all, the only thing worse than missing data is not knowing that it's missing in the first place. I mean, the entire point of a visibility fabric or architecture is to eliminate blind spots, not create them. I simply can't think of a more frightening thought than to build a mission-critical visibility architecture with a solution that drops packets. That means, in their best-case scenario, you're still flying partially blind, since your mission-critical appliances can't be relied upon to not drop packets. And that, shameless plug, is why we at Keysight put such a premium on lossless visibility. From our network taps to proven packet brokers that deliver uncompromising performance with zero packet loss, we don't settle for anything less than the full picture. But enough about us. If there's one takeaway I want to leave you with today, it's this. Don't settle for anything less than the full picture. Your network, users, and security are simply too important to leave to chance. And just in case you'd like to learn a little bit more, be sure to check out the white papers that I've linked in the video's description. Lossless network visibility, and uncompromised visibility and security performance. They expand a whole lot on what I've said here, and consider them essential reading if you're concerned with preventing packet loss and eliminating those vulnerable blind spots. And with that, I'm afraid I must bid you adieu. So until next time, this is Packet Boy, signing off.